Welcome to this tutorial where we will show you how to use the great new feature called Saved Reports in Lextree for Contract Management. When you log into Lextree and come to the Reports area now, you will see two new items on this bar. The first is the Saved Reports, which will give you a list of all of your currently saved reports, and finally the ability to save a new report. That's what this last button is for. This presentation will outline saved reports in two sections. First, we'll talk about the basics about how to create a saved report. And secondly, we'll talk about the difference between static and dynamic saved reports and how they can open up a set of possibilities for understanding your entire contract portfolio. Let's start with the basics. So to create a new report, you simply log into Lextree and come to the reports area to run any report you want. And in this example, we'll just run a basic contract report. This process works the same for parties, documents, requirements, all of these options. We'll choose contracts, and we'll just create a report of all of our non-disclosure agreements, all of our NDAs or confidentiality agreements. So to do that, we just create a filter, and we choose contract type is NDA or contains NDA. And you'll see we now have all of these NDAs. So all of the contracts that are displayed, there are only 29 in this demo system, all display these NDAs as it were. Now, to save this report, we simply choose Save Report. And Lextree will ask us to save a name for this report. It will also prompt us with some reminders. So what you're saving is a short name for your saved report. You can change this later anytime you want. Saved reports are personal to the user. So when you make changes to the saved report, you're only affecting your view, not anyone else's. So you can delete them, change them however you want, and you won't affect anyone else. So in this case, we'll just say NDAs and click Save. Lextree will bring us to our Saved Reports area, where you can see we now have NDAs listed here. So now we have this saved report, and what we'll do is we'll delete one of these prior demo. And to go access our saved reports, we simply click on the link, and Lextree will bring us to the presentation of that report that we configured. If we want to edit the name of the report or delete it, we can do that here. Again, when you delete the report, you're deleting it just for yourself, not for anyone else, and you're not affecting the underlying data in any way. But we want to change the name, and we want to simply say All NDAs. Now it's called All NDAs, and we get the same result. We're back to looking at all of our NDAs, and we can interact with the report any way we want. You can still continue to refine the report at this point if you want. So if I have a saved report, I can add an additional filter, and I can say where the expiration date is during the next 9 months. And now I have these 7 where they are NDAs that are also expiring the next 9 months. Currently, this is not a saved report. Only the NDA is the saved report. However, if after refining it, I want to save this report, I can choose Save Report. NDAs expiring in 9 months. And now I have NDAs expiring in 9 months. I still have my original, just all NDAs, but now I have this one as well. Those are the basics of saved reports. Very easy. There is one more important item I should point out, which is all of your saved reports are available on the dashboard. The dashboard has a new element over here on the right called Saved Reports, and you'll see all of your saved reports. These are nice shortcuts directly to your saved reports. So if I want to get from here and see all of my NDAs, I just click the link, and voila, I'm back with my saved report that I can then work with. Those are truly the basics of saved reports in Lextree. Now let's talk about the difference between static and dynamic reports. A static report is a report that produces the same results every time it's run. A dynamic report is a report where the results are different, but it's designed to forecast or look retrospectively and give you different results based on when it is run. And there is a time and a place for both kinds of reports. The great news is that saved reports allows you to create both static and dynamic reports for quick and easy access to important insights about your contracts. We'll design an example of each. So let's start with static reports. A static view of your data would say, for example, let's look at all of the contracts with an effective date in 2019. So to do that, we'll add a filter and we'll choose the effective date is after 12/31/2018. Why is that? Because we want to make sure to get any contract that was effective January 1st of 2018. But we also want to make sure that the effective date is before January 1st, 2020. So we want to make sure to get every contract that was effective, even if it was effective at the end of the year on December 31st, 2019. So this will show us that in this demo system, there are 19 contracts that were effective in 2019. This report should always return the same results. The exception would be if someone changes the underlying data. Maybe they change this RealBridge NDA to be effective 8/1/2018. That change might be for a very legitimate reason. It might have been misentered the first time. It was referring to a different contract, what have you. In that case, that contract would come off of this report, but that's because the underlying data was changed. The report is still serving its purpose. It is producing data in a consistent manner, all based on these two parameters. And to save this report as a static report, we would click Save Report, and we will simply call it 2019 contract. You could be more expressive with that title and call it 2019 contracts with an effective date in 2019, or simply 2019 contract. And again, this will be available from the dashboard as well. Now let's create a dynamic report. A dynamic report is one where the data intentionally changes on the report. So the dynamic report is a view into information about our portfolio. So let's say, for example, we want to see all of the contracts where the expiration date is during the next 9 months. This is a dynamic report. These 26 contracts will change in their amount and which ones are on it, depending on when we run the report. If we run it a month from now, some of them will come off because they have expired, and new ones will come on because they are now in our 9-month time frame. So in this way, this is a dynamic report. But they don't even have to be used for forecasting. Although that's a very common use of dynamic reports. You can use them to look retrospectively as well. We could say is during the previous 9 months. And this will always be a trailing view of the last 9 months of contracts that were expiring in the last 3 quarters, as it were. So depending on the information you need, these dynamic reports are very powerful. And to save them, we'll simply choose, and this is an example of a little more expressive report title. So contracts expired in the last 9 months. And there it is. And both of our new reports are available on the dashboard under Saved Reports. And we see we misnamed this report. We can go in and clean up that typo. And voila. And we also have our other contract reports here. So in a nutshell, we've covered how to create and use saved reports, as well as how to use static and dynamic reports. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you enjoyed this great new feature of Lextree.